Well, I'm not hearing music right now.
I'm only hearing my pet acoustic music in the other room to keep my dogs from barking.
I'm seeing, I think we're live now. We couldn't hear the music track. If those of you that are joining, you heard the music track, amazing. That's sort of our cue to start. But here we are, Jody Teiche. She's here to join us and talk about anxiety in pets. Oh my gosh, it's a thing, and we're going to talk about it here. But I just want to welcome everybody into this track today. Let us know who you are and where you're tuning in from. We love to interact with you on the chat, and feel free to ask Jody any questions. And Jody, I will bring those to you as we go through this talk. So Jody, you have the 3-pillar solution to unraveling anxiety in pets. But before we get into that, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, your history, and why are you so passionate about this subject?
Absolutely. Hi, Heather. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I have always been into natural medicine. When my daughter was 3 and she's now 37, I discovered homeopathy. And by the time she was 4, we actually cured her of a nasty ear infection through homeopathy,
Oh, wow.
and she never got another one. Whereas her nephews were ear infection antibiotics, tubes in the ears. So that made an early impression on me. And I've always been into food, into nutrition. I'm a foodie. My mom was an early adopter to the health food store.
Oh, nice.
And so at camp, I would be getting Barbara's seed cookies instead of sugar daddies. I don't know how fun that was, but I liked them.
Yeah.
And so I kind of had this predisposition, and I always loved animals. Always loved animals and had them growing up, all different types. So that sort of all came together for me a few years ago. And I decided to, after a long career in PR in the entertainment industry and designing dog clothes and being a podcaster, which I still am, to bring those pieces together and do what I'm really passionate about and help pet parents and help animals live longer, healthier, and happier lives.
I love that, because I'll tell you, I'm a pet owner. I over the last 2 years, unfortunately, 2 of them had to transition, and that's okay. I still have them with my heart. But
Yeah.
Miley, my girl Miley, who's still hanging on, does have anxiety, and there's nothing I wouldn't do for her. So they bring us such joy, right? They're so
Yes.
our pets are just so integral into our lives. And so I'm just so thrilled to hear what you have to offer and then bring it back home to Miley.
Absolutely. First of all, I'm so sorry about your other babies. A lot of us have been there, and it's hard. Yes, let's see if we can help Miley and any of the other pets out there who suffer from anxiety, and the pet parents who suffer with them.
Yeah. Well, maybe the first question would be then, like you said, a pet coach, a pet health coach,
Yes.
right? What is that?
Well, I'm really glad you asked, Heather, because while human health coaches have become kind of popular, pet health coaches are something newer. So I can tell you what I bring to the table when I work with pet parents. I am their trusted guide. I am their knowledge transfer person, what I've learned over the years. I am their resource person, bringing people, maybe experts who have deeper knowledge in certain areas that I feel would be beneficial, to the table, to the circle. And they're champion, because it's important to meet pet parents where they are. Not every pet parent is ready and able to do everything all at once, to, go from 0 to 10. So I meet them where they are, and we take it step by step, and there's a plan, and I make it very easy to understand, to reach the goals that they have for themselves and their pet. And that is what I do as a pet health coach.
I love that so much. I love that so much. So pet health coach, new and emerging industry. So
Yes.
pets have anxiety. You're blowing my mind here with the pets having anxiety. How do pets have anxiety?
It's not just that they have anxiety. Would you believe that 3/4 of all dogs in the US suffer from some form of anxiety? 3/4. And 1/4 of cats. So certainly when we're talking about our dogs, we're at epidemic levels. And it's very, very important to address it because, number one, it's heartbreaking to watch. And pet parents out there who have dogs or cats with anxiety issues can relate to what I'm saying. But it also turns your life upside down. There are pet parents I know who can't even go out to dinner because they're so afraid that their dog, let's say, will destroy the house or harm themselves. And so their lives are turned upside down. So it's absolutely something that's important to address. And it is pervasive enough and common enough an issue to do that.
Yeah. Wow. How does anxiety show up in pets?
It could be in a few ways. The most common that comes up is separation anxiety. So when you have to leave the house for whatever, your pet goes through some trauma, and it could be whining, it could be pacing, it could be not wanting to eat, it could be urinating or defecating, it could be destroying the house when you actually leave. But there are also things that are like PTSD for dogs. Dogs have PTSD too. They've experienced some trauma, let's say. Maybe they were nearby a loud noise that went off and it really traumatized them. And so now anytime there's a loud noise, fireworks, a tire that backfires, whatever, they go right back into that place. Maybe they had a bad experience that involved a smell, a type of clothing, a child, a man, a woman, a texture. There was a dog that I rescued, a pit mix, who could not walk and still won't walk on concrete floors. Something in Gus's past reminds him, whenever he is encountering that kind of a floor, of something very unpleasant. So it can show up in a lot of different ways. With separation anxiety, we often see this in pets that were rescued. Maybe they were abandoned at the shelter or abandoned on the street, or they were bounced back to the shelter from being, adopted. So, it shows up in several different ways.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So now we know how it shows up. We know that this is a real thing, that it's epidemic in dogs. Cats, they're a little more chill. Maybe they're like,
Not as much. Right.
not so much, but poor dogs. I mean, they just fill with their hearts, right? Okay. So how can we help our pets? What are the 3 pillars?
Okay. So the first one, and this is with pretty much everything that I address with the pet parents that I work with, is nutrition. It's the foundation of the house. And as we learn more and more, both for humans and for animals, that the gut microbiome is the center of all good or poor health, we start to understand and learn things like 90% of the serotonin that our body produces, one of the happy hormones, is produced in the gut. My cat Suki was just agreeing. You might not have heard that. And there's something called the vagus nerve. It's the longest nerve in the body for humans and animals. And it goes from the gut to the brain. And it's like the hotline in a Bond film. And hello, Suki. And it talks all day long to the brain. And if the gut microbiome is not balanced, meaning there's not enough of a diversity in bacteria and fungi and everything that's in there, then it's not going to be producing as many of those happy hormones. And what's going to happen is you're going to get that connection that produces anxiety, depression, not feeling good. So feeding your pet a fresh food diet, something that is more akin to what their bodies were meant to digest. So historically, the wolves, the big cats, that is what your pet needs most. Now, I'm talking about raw. Raw is the healthiest diet because it's got live enzymes. Heat kills everything. And with dry food, things like kibble, and even with canned food, the high heat that it goes through to make it what it is kills all the vitamins and minerals, and it's added after the fact, and it's added synthetically, and it's not the same thing. So raw is really the healthiest. The live enzymes help the body assimilate that food through the small intestines to get it to the cells where it's needed to create energy.
And I saw that that's sort of a trend now, this healthy diet, healthy pet, healthy, and they're coming with the raw food. Yes. Should we be careful about that though? Should,
Good question.
The food that's in the cold case, the tubes in the bag.
Yeah. That's a very good question. Yeah. First of all, always source. Oh, there's Suki. Always source from a respected manufacturer. That's number one. Number two, there is a myth that is proliferated even by some vets that, oh no, your dogs are going to get, parasite or bacteria infections from eating raw. Our dogs' digestive tracts and our cats' digestive tracts have stomachs, first of all, have far more acid than we do, far more. That's why they're able to digest gristle and bone and the kinds of things that they ate in the wild. They ate an entire animal.
They had to survive.
They had to survive. Their bodies are equipped for that.
Yeah.
And their tract is a lot shorter than ours. So the transit time is a lot shorter. So nothing stays in there very long. So unless you're really, really careless with raw food, it's unlikely that your animal is going to get sick. You should be more careful. Make sure that you defrost to use over the course of 3 to 4 days tops in the fridge. Maybe wear gloves when you serve, or wash your hands with soap and water. But your pet, I wouldn't worry so much about that. And the benefits that they're going to get from this living food is wonderful. Now, not all dogs take to raw. Not all cats take to raw. So gently cooking, light searing might be more palatable, but still maintain, most of the live enzymes. We're trying to keep heat away as much as possible.
Got it. Okay.
So nutrition is pillar number one, and it absolutely affects anxiety. Pillar two, exercise and something called the happiness protocol.
Ooh.
Yes.
I like it.
Coined by Dr. Jeff Feynman of Holistic Actions, awesome holistic vet. And that 20 minutes of sniffing outdoors equals 1 hour of exercise, like a 1 hour walk, in terms of enrichment.
Oh, wow.
For your dog. Sniffing for them is a happiness protocol. It tells them all the information they need about the environment, and it makes them feel better. So taking your dogs out for sniff walks are great. Anxiety, because it'll tucker them out. The happiness protocol is kind of what it sounds like, doing more of what your pet loves, dog or cat. Maybe it's cuddling up next to you. For a walk, maybe it's going to the dog park or a field to run. Maybe it's, curling up and going to sleep. Whatever it is, do more. And dopamine. And when that happens, it strengthens your animal's immune system, just like a healthy diet strengthens the immune system, so they can fight off all sorts of things as well as be less anxious. So that's pillar two.
And I love that, because I don't know. I mean, yes, it's for our pet, but my goodness, are we not benefiting from all of this?
Absolutely. Well, this is why when I coach pet parents about their pets, I coach them about them, because mindset is key. I call it emotional contagion. We are constantly transferring emotional energy back and forth. They're so intuitive, our animals, right? You found that with your animals, the dogs, right? They kind of know when you're not feeling good. You know, they kind of know when you're about to go out or something is up. A change is about to happen. So they're very intuitive.
Yeah.
And it's important to get in the right mindset to transfer the right energy.
I love that. Talk about being intuitive. I'm a business owner, so I'm on Zoom calls all the time. And there's a cadence to when you end the Zoom call. It's like, okay, yes, thanks, see you. Bye.
Yes.
My Miley knows it. She knows the cadence, and she knows,
Oh my
I swear
goodness.
she can tell when I hit the end Zoom talk because she's right here by my side. It's so awesome. So lovely.
They're
Okay.
amazing.
They are so amazing. I want to check in the chat here because we have some pet owners in here from all over the country.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so we have we talked about the fresh food options in the market. Just look at the source, make sure it's a trusted source. Susan says our female dog sniffs all of us when we get home. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I bet it is just a joy for her. She also said our male dog has had an accident and pulled all the ligaments in his knee. We can't go for walks and exercise with him right now. Would welcome any ideas to help him feel happier while he's recovering.
She should reach out to me because we don't have the bandwidth today for me to go into her pet's case.
Yeah.
But I would be happy to help if I can. So she should definitely reach out.
Cool. And another one here from
Sorry to
Rocky.
hear that, Susan.
Yeah. Another one from Rocky. Any suggestions on the fastest way to stimulate vagus nerve parasympathetic to help a dog that gets seizures?
Oh, that is going to be one of the third pillar, which is natural healing modalities.
Let's get into it.
Let's dive in.
Yeah.
And this one thing, which I will get to, can help with that. I think can help with that.
Okay.
So the first one is homeopathy. I mentioned it earlier. It is a powerful, gentle, science meets art, almost 300-year-old healing modality. And the very superficial premise is like cures like. So if you find the remedy that in a healthy dog or cat or person would create symptoms, certain symptoms, if you give that remedy to a person or an animal that has those symptoms, it will one by one make those symptoms disappear energetically. It is very woo-woo sounding. I could go on and on to explain how this works, but we don't have the bandwidth today. Anybody interested in knowing more, please reach out. I'd be happy to. I'm super passionate about it. I'm a geek about it. So that's homeopathy, and homeopathy can absolutely help with anxiety as well as a lot of conditions, really things from acute issues like Susan's dog to chronic issues like skin, digestive, anxiety, diseases. The next thing is essential oils. Essential oils are powerful and gentle. And there are some, I use a company called doTERRA. I really like them. You've heard of them?
Oh yeah, they're popular. Yeah.
Yeah, they source really beautifully, and they have specific combinations that work really, really well for pets. And I actually am learning from an essential oils vet. So I'm getting a great education in essential oils and passing that on to my pet parents. So things like peace, console, balance, those are three of the combinations that doTERRA does that are all great for anxiety. Copaiba, adaptive, if your dog or cat is going to be going into an environment that's new and could be anxiety, causing. You're moving to a new house, or you're going to be taking them somewhere to a new location. Adaptive could be really good. There are a lot of them, and happy to talk more about this if anybody is interested, but essential oils is a great way to tackle. The next one's going to sound really woo-woo too. It is the Solex AO frequency scanner. What the heck is that?
What the heck is that?
We are all made up of energy. Every
Yeah.
cell, organ system vibrates at its own frequency. This is the knowledge, the discoveries of Tesla, Einstein, Rife back in the 1940s that have been so brought up to date so that it's very sophisticated now in an actual handheld machine. Over 150,000 frequencies programmed into the database. It will read the frequencies in the body of you or your pet. It will identify those frequencies that are out of balance and then send corresponding balanced frequencies to them to gently bring those back into balance.
Wow.
So you feel better, they feel better emotionally and physically. And then it sends you a report that shows you what frequencies were out of balance, what parts of the body it can affect, and some things you could do to get it back into balance with lifestyle changes. And if you scan regularly, this is the beauty of this, and you start to see things come up regularly, well, these are things you could head off the path through lifestyle changes for your pet or you before they ever become conditions. Right now, they're just energy. They're not yet arrived as a condition. Yeah.
That's preventative care at its finest.
Yes, right in your individual pet's body or your individual body. So this is a beautiful informational tool to help you be the healthiest you can be and your pets be the healthiest they can be. If you want more information, reach out. The next thing is the one that can help with the epileptic pet. I call it Love Touch. It's got many different names. Suffice it to say that it was inspired by Temple Grandin, the autistic woman who changed the system for factory farmed animals to help these factories develop these chutes where there was pressure so that it calmed the animal down, because she saw that as a kid growing up on a farm. She made her own. She saw that it helped her with her anxiety as an autistic person. And she, when she became an adult, helped animals in this way. And there is this method of hands-on therapy where you apply very slow but deep pressure going down the animal's back, very slowly, deeply, not enough to hurt them, but definitely pressure over and over. And there's a system to learn this, but that's sort of the basic of it. And if you do it several times a day, every day, what it does is it not only calms the animal, but it teaches them how to calm themselves. It literally, over time, develops new neural pathways in their brain.
Wow.
To teach them how to calm themselves.
Oh my
Love
gosh.
touch. I know,
Love
it's pretty
touch.
wild.
It's so
And
cool.
it's been working for decades. There's a vet in Australia who has been using it for years and has had incredible success. I've had success with my clients with anxious dogs, reactive dogs, and the gentleman who wrote in the chat may want to try it for his dog with seizures.
Yeah, and
But
Rocky just said,
homeopathy could help him too.
yeah, and Rocky just said thank you for the info. So I think that message is received. So thank you, Rocky. Hey, we have 2 more minutes left. So let's talk about the freebie. Can what you're feeding create or worsen your pet's anxiety? 7 tips to a calmer pet. We just put the link in there. Please click on that for me, guys. Once you land on that page, put a 1 in the chat. I want to make sure that that link opens for you guys. So click on the 7 tips to a calmer pet. But can you tell us in about a minute what that is?
Yeah, it's pretty much having at your fingertips a lot of what we talked about today. Again, it is not a deep dive, but it is having those tools. And so you could do research if you wanted on your own. It is absolutely honing in on the importance of nutrition. And I am here for any pet parents that are interested in some resources and some more information on how to do all of this.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jody. You have been a wealth of knowledge. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for sharing. Make sure to click on that link right now and get her download. Jody, thank you so very much. I hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, Heather, so much. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you for joining us for another amazing session of the Voices of Women Summit, where our mission is to raise the voices of hundreds of women so their messages can be heard. For recordings of all sessions, plus an amazing VIP gift bundle, upgrade to VIP now. If you have any questions or problems during the summit, email our support team at support@voicesofwomensummit.com. Stay tuned. We have another fantastic
quick on
speaker
the
coming
trigger.
right up.